Vague refers to something that is unclear or imprecise in its meaning or intention. Inconsistent, on the other hand, refers to something that does not remain the same or is not uniform in its behavior or quality.
Welcome back to Vaguely Inconsistent. Hey, we didn't change spots this time. I think we usually change spots after the countdown goes. That's cool, though.
Oh, then.
Which way? Well, like always, Jack, Duke, and Lou. In that order, even.
What up?
Lou, you'll notice, has a different background because he's here in Vegas visiting his parents. Aww.
So we might get some special guests. Even though when he asked his mom was like, "Oh, hell no."
that is basically what she said.
And then she ran out the room.
She really did. That literally happened. But it also means we might have some connection issues. So if something happens, y'all, just bear with us. It's totally my fault.
Yep.
It'll be fixed.
Okay, and when we post, it'll be all right.
It's going to get fixed on Sunday.
It is.
How you guys doing?
It's my focus ladder.
How's the back, Jack?
Are you calmed down now from Star Wars Celebration tickets? Are you good?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Hotel. And Comic-Con Hotel.
And Hotel Apocalypse Part 2.
I didn't realize all that shit was ran by. It all made sense to me when I read everything's Reed Pop influenced, because those guys are the fucking worst. Man. I know Comic-Con isn't run by them, but there's a lot of the same overlap. So because there's only 2 or 3 kind of pop culture comic organizers anymore.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see that little green bar with that little white man running anymore. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, word.
As long as we don't need him for Comic-Con parking,
but you got to get Star Wars. We don't usually, because it's just like a raffle, isn't it? And they're like, hey, you got this.
Well, that's what they said. They said you have a month to enter, and then they send you an email and they say, hey, do you want to park in this parking lot? And you can say yes or no. At least it was nice to actually have something written out that actually described how the process was going to work and made sense. So I won't stress out about that at all, because it made total sense how they had it written up. So but. No, today was it was a long day.
They didn't have that lockdown. So good for them for having the parking lockdown. Good job, Ace Parking.
Yeah, the parking's always been, this is how parking works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace Parking, got your shit together. A+. We haven't even done it yet. A+ already. Because so far I'd give everything else a C- at best.
Well, on the bright side, you at least did get a hotel.
I'm just going to say, yeah. I don't know what he's saying, but we're going to go with yes.
He said on the bright side, you got the Comic-Con Hotel.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we got everything that we wanted, everything that we needed. Thank you, Lou, for sacrificing your watching the planes land and take off time at the airport earlier.
Well, no, he said he goes to the airport last minute. He is that last guy getting on the airplane.
That's why I'm thanking him for going in early and for getting in the queue for whatever reason, getting in the queue a half an hour before our guy even finished running.
For real, though.
That was wild.
This is going to be a 2.5
being at the airport. Oh my God. I didn't think that would be able to get through. I figured everybody, thousands of people on the airport Wi-Fi, and no, I'm the one that gets through. Go figure.
Right.
I saw the Star Wars Explained guy, the guy that does the YouTube channel. He posted a thing on his community page. They were at Star Wars Trivia when the tickets dropped, and they had a laptop, a phone, an iPad, 2 more phones. I was like, man, you crazy.
I would have been doing that if I was home this morning. And this afternoon.
Just done 15 incognito pages.
Yep. I would have had my laptop, PC, whatever tablets the girls have laying around.
Xbox.
All of it.
You would have the Xbox browser up and going.
Yep.
Everything. 2 laptops. multiple browsers on the, not even like I have Edge going, Chrome going, all of it.
And your 10 minutes of going Edge going, hey, you haven't used this in a while.
Oh my God.
Literally, this is the only thing you use Edge for.
Exactly. Do you want to make this your default browser? No, I don't.
No. I won't see you for a year, so go away. So, my big thing today, Lou, was for the passes. The thing that irritated me the most, and I think we kind of were talking about it in text a little bit, but when you first logged in to get your Star Wars passes, and then 5 o'clock hit, and it said, "Hey, you're in the queue," and then it said, "Hey, everyone's an hour," right? And then you said, "Hey, I got it at 45 minutes or whatever," right? And then mine popped up and said 55 minutes. And I think Jack was a couple minutes behind. We were all kind of in the same ballpark. Yeah. And then both Jack and I bounced back out to like, now it's an hour. And then I got it again. And it was like, now it was an hour and a half down the road. And Jack's was the same. And I was like, so my irritation was, don't give me a time. Then the time started getting shorter. Like it went from like 5:20 to 5:18 to 5:15 that's cool. If you want to start bumping, but don't give me a time and then bump me out of 45 minutes. That was the thing that irritated me. I don't care if you make it shorter, but don't bump it out more until, put me at the end of the queue. That's fine. So that was the only thing that was irritating. And after this morning, but now I'm good. We're all good.
Nice and zen.
Yep. So
we're going to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We're going to Japan.
Yep.
It's going to be amazing.
Comic-Con, Japan. We're dialed in. We got tickets for my friends. So we're good. We're all good.
Do you think your friend will actually go? That's kind of random.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean so our plan for next year, just for the world to know, all six people who are listening.
Now we got 7 now. Lose data watch.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. So we're gonna go at the beginning of June for the F1 race in Japan. And then we're just going to be there for 2.5 weeks. And then we're going to end with Celebration. So that was kind of the plan the whole time along, was like, hey, we were like, Celebration was kind of the incentive. And so these guys had never been to a Celebration before. And I don't think we're doing a diorama because I haven't heard anything. But not to say that I would have heard of anything, because that whole dynamic is now all different than it was before. That's another story for another podcast, but yeah. So the plan was, but they're not going to go to 3 days of Celebration. There's no, like, I'm not going to go to like 3 days of F1 because they have like 2 days of practice and then the race. I don't care about the practice. Like, I don't care enough about F1, but I'll go to the race to have that experience, right? I've never been to an F1 race in like a popular, like, I went to like NASCAR races when they used to have them at Portland International Raceway 100 years ago, but it's been 100 years. So going to like F1 where there's like this huge, massive, dedicated fan base, I think should be super interesting. And then on the flip side, they're going to get to come to see something that that's been part of my life for my entire life, and you guys as well, There hasn't been a time, it's like one of those things when you hear older people talking about the time before Star Wars and stuff, and you go, I don't know what that's like. Like, I don't know what my life would be if Star Wars had never been made, So,
wait, back up, because
so it's kind of cool in that regard.
You mentioned your friends and this F1 stuff in June, though. The Star Wars celebration's in April. What am I missing?
Or April.
He misspoke. He didn't mean June.
April. Sorry, April.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the beginning of the month where Celebration is more towards the end of the month. So, April. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, yeah. So, but I guess that dovetails nicely into... Go ahead, Jack.
Yes. So, it's May. Everybody keeps saying this is Star Wars week because May the 4th be with you is on Saturday. No, sir. This is the May. Okay? All May, all Star Wars. So while we're not a Star Wars dedicated podcast, we do talk about it a little bit here and there. Not a lot.
A trickle.
Just a little bit.
It's just a trickle.
But even, touching on something you said, when people talk about a time before Star Wars, you're like, What? That's a thing? So, what are our first memories of Star Wars? Like when we were kids and it came out. You guys are a little older than me. I wasn't born until after Empire came out. So
Must
like
be
you
nice.
guys are yeah,
Go ahead, sorry.
we're early 40s. You guys are late 40s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I do remember seeing Jedi in the theater. Asking my parents for a baby Ewok. Um, but yeah, I just Star Wars has been around my whole life. It's always been a thing. Like my dad had the laser discs for Star Wars and Empire. So I'm like a baby and I know how to switch the discs out because back in my day, you had to flip them over. You know, it was like A side, B side. They're like these giant ass DVDs for people that don't know.
Jack's like, oh. What are we talking about? Jack was already 5'3" when he was 4, so I mean, you know, tall ass mofo.
But yeah, no, it's Star Wars has literally always been a part of my life. My dad even told me once that he only had me so he could have a reason to buy Star Wars toys. Joke's on him. You don't need kids to buy Star Wars toys. Look at us.
Shit.
But yeah, and it's always been part of me. You know, even like when it died down, you know, late 80s, early 90s before it started coming back again. Me and my friends, we would just watch the videotapes, VHS, much smaller than laser discs. But yeah, we had the old trilogy that had the cool artwork on it. And even like, you know, like I said, when Star Wars wasn't popular, we were still watching that like all summer. And then obviously that leads to what we talked about even in our first episode. That leads to me meeting you guys. Celebration's always been a reason for us to travel too. My wife and I, who goes to freaking Indianapolis? No one.
In the snow.
Right? They made us go to Florida. That's the first time. We've been every year for like the last 3 years now. But still, it made us go to Florida. It gave us a reason to go somewhere. Even now, going to Japan. I mean, is it always on the bucket list? Yes. But, hey, Star Wars is here, so let's go to Japan. And we can, you know, finally have a reason to go to Japan.
I do like that it didn't incentivize us enough to go to Denver.
No.
We're like, okay, we'll go to Indianapolis, but fuck Denver.
Dude. You know, you got me going so well. I moved there.
He's hoping it comes full circle and they come back.
I'm already there. Yeah.
If it does, then we're all just crashing at Lou's little ass apartment.
No shit.
Yep.
We'll be stacked like cordwood.
For real. Duke, your first experience?
I mean, my first memory of Star Wars was I probably went and saw them in the theater, but I don't remember it. I was 3 months old when A New Hope came out, so it's unlikely I went to that. But my first memory is my dad used to work for Anheuser-Busch back in the early 80s. And and they used to do, you know, that was when like VHS, where they'd have like the two VHS decks and they would copy. And because like, you know, he worked for Anheuser-Busch, like they would get like movies like months before they came out on tape because like they already had that stuff on tape. They just wanted to milk out the theatrical release. And I remember we had a tape that I believe had Return of the Jedi and Temple of Doom on it. And I wore the shit out of that tape. Like it had like, you know, it had like Return ROTJ / Indiana, you know, Temple of Doom on it. Right. And that's my first like real Star Wars memory is that tape just getting wore the fuck out. And of course I had all the toys and everything, but my attachment as far as that stuff goes, like when we moved to Oregon, like we had to get rid of like a ton of stuff. I mean, I had boxes of G.I. Joe figures. I had boxes of He-Man stuff. I had boxes of Star Wars stuff, and I had to kind of get rid of it all because when we moved, it was kind of like Marie Kondo was like driving the RV that we drove up to to Oregon, it was, you got to get rid of everything. And
those box of toys did not give you joy.
They did, but they didn't give my parents joy. And so I had to, so I remember giving all of my Star Wars stuff to a kid down the street who didn't have anything. He never had any toys. He always came over and hung out and we played toys together. And then I went back couple years later, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, we went back down there to go visit friends and stuff. And we ended up visiting with them. And I was asking them about the Star Wars toys, and like half of them had been buried in the garden in the backyard, and the other half, the dog had gotten a hole. Like, I was like, what did you do? Like, you didn't appreciate any of this shit. Like, and then like my Star Wars, again, I was, that window of time. And I mean, Lou, you can speak to it from your experience too. Like, I'm actually curious to know your experience growing up as a Star Wars fan, as like a minority, because I always feel like that's something that's a little, that experience is different for somebody like me, right? Where you look at me and you think, oh, that guy's a nerd or that guy's a geek or whatever the nomenclature they were using at the time was, But I didn't really even get back into Star Wars a whole lot. I read the books and stuff like that, but I didn't get back into it really until I met you, Jack, and Phantom Menace came along. So it was on my peripheral. It was always something I enjoyed, but I never, and maybe that was my, we've had the conversations about like the levels of nerd and levels of geek and how we always were like elitist because we always look down on everybody else. And super I nerds. Think I was doing that. Yeah. Super mature, but I think I was doing that long before. And so I never wanted to hang out with the guys that liked Star Wars or liked Doctor Who or liked whatever, because those guys were the ones that picked their nose. Those were the guys that, wore the same jacket with duct tape on it because that was, and I always thought I was cooler than that. Come to find out I'm not. But, it wasn't until I met you that the spark to light the fire, came back around. So.
Aww. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Lou.
Yeah, mine is
Shit, I hope it
very
works.
easy for me to remember this. I go back. I remember my first experience with Star Wars was the 12-inch figure. So my cousin, my dad was in the Air Force.
Okay.
We would go visit family in California. I had some cousins that had some of the 12-inch figures. So I'm playing with these things on one of the visits, and everything was cool. I'm learning who these people are. Okay, great. But that, this is great. Star Wars is interesting. No big deal. But then we get stationed in, of all places, Japan, where I'm going back next year. And for Halloween 83, obviously Return of the Jedi at this point is 5 months out in the theater. My dad has whoever, I can't remember, we had like a seamstress lady who would make stuff. Basically made my dad a Darth Vader outfit with the pleather, leather, whatever stuff, the cape, the whole thing. And my dad had a 1983 Fox Studios helmet, the two-piece helmet, shipped to him.
The Don Post, the Don Post one, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was. I know. I still have that helmet. But so after all said and done, 10, 15 years ago, my dad passed that helmet along to me. But so it's Halloween 1983, and my dad and my mom are getting ready for on base or whatever Halloween costume party, and my brother and I are staying home. But when he comes down the stairs or down the hallway, my dad dressed up with these knee-high boots, 2-inch platform boots, which I still have those as well of his. This outfit that this lady put together for him, this 2-piece Vader helmet, and my dad is Darth Vader. So, when you're 7 years old, 8 years old at this point, I just turned 8 the month before, and my dad is Darth Vader, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the coolest thing ever. And that right there, Halloween 83, not the, playing with the 12-inch a couple years earlier, is what did it. Dad is Darth Vader. I'm going back trying to absorb as much as I can to see how the badass that my dad is Darth Vader. So ever since then, it was Star Wars, more Star Wars action figures. And at the time I'm in Japan, so for me it was Star Wars, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. I was all about that, living that life. And Jack's talking about how he's watching Laserdisc and VHS. We had Return of the Jedi on beta. So, yeah, the old school beta Betamax.
The old media platforms everywhere.
Dude, it was the jam. And hell, I think my dad still has his beta camcorder. 40 years old. But yeah, so after that,
explains your Darth Vader obsession, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I knew from day one where that came from. So it was like, no shock, totally own it. And love the fact that I can own it that way. Collected figures. Then obviously there was that pause for a bit. During that pause, when there was that late 80s, early 90s die down, that's when I got into the novels. I needed something to fill the Star Wars gap, and the novels did it for me. So, and then just kept with it. Like Jack said, we all met basically indirectly or directly through, with Duke indirectly and with Jack directly through Star Wars collecting. Mm-hmm. And here we are. But when Jack brought this up to us all and said, hey, I have an idea. Let's talk about what our first memories of Star Wars. And it was like, dude, done. I don't even have to think about it. I know exactly where I'm going with this. So, yeah, that's my story.
Lou's therapy session was real fun there. So, Lou, who's your role model? My dad? Oh, really? Tell me more about that. Actually, it was one specific night that he was my role model. Besides that, I'm going to take him to that. Halloween night, 1983.
That one we're good. But no, seriously, yeah. So to this day, I like I said, in my living room, in my apartment in Boulder, is that 2-piece helmet. It's sitting on a shelf in my living room.
Wow, one of the things that made it from your collection over to Colorado, huh?
Yep, one of the few. And dude, I was talking about losing stuff.
You said you didn't give it to you till a couple years ago, though.
No, it's like a decade or so ago. Like, I had it before I moved to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But one of the things that sucked, though, is moving from Japan back, my whole box of toys, like all my collectibles, my Transformers, G.I. Joes, Thundercats, Star Wars, all that stuff, misplaced and never made it back over to the States. So I had to start all over.
Yeah. Misplaced as your dad turned around and went, oh, it ended up in the pile going in the trash. Whoops.
Nah,
whoops.
The movers
one less box that we have to pay for. The movers took it. Yeah.
Definitely took that. It was like, damn. So whatever, though. That's all right. Gave me, I started off again in 95 and I had no problem recollecting some things. So it worked out. Although, I do miss my Transformers, I'm not going to lie. All the G1 originals, I had them.
Yeah, that was a whole nother downfall. Giving us nerds money when we got older.
Oh, man, that was a mistake.
Like, here, I have real grown-up money now? I'm going to buy a lightsaber.
Yep. $250 for a 25-minute experience and a lightsaber? I'm in.
Sold.
All right, cool.
Best $250 I spent in my life.
I would not have done that in 1995.
When can I do it again?
No.
Nope.
What else is going on?
Let's see. What else? Well, Bad Batch ended this week.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Three seasons of Bad Batch ended. And I've told you guys this time and again. Star Wars animation is peak Star Wars. Yes, love the movies. OT especially.
Thank you. Oh, I muted myself. Nobody wants to hear that.
But Star Wars animation is peak Star Wars. If you don't watch Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch,
Resistance,
you can't even be friends.
Sorry.
Bad Batch, Rebels, Clone Wars.
So I follow the kid that played Kaz on Resistance, right? Yeah. I guess he's a soap opera actor.
Okay.
Bro is posing in Playboy right now.
What?
Wait. Okay, never mind.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
No, I didn't look it up. But it's just that's what he's been tweeting about. Xing about. Okay. Or whatever the hell we call it now.
Xing. Triple Xing. He's triple Xing about it.
Dude.
Bad Batch is it's a spin-off of Clone Wars. Shoot, we saw it. What did we see? It like Celebration LA, Lou.
Yeah, I think so.
We went to that panel and they showed like the rough cut, or was it Comic-Con or something? They showed us like a rough cut before they went through and finished all the animation. They were like, "This is good stuff." And then years and years later, when they put that final season on Disney Plus, it was part of that. And the funny thing is, thinking back on it and watching the final one, my memory of it looks just like the final one, just because I was so into it that I wasn't bothered that they were like animatics and unfinished animation.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. It was well done. Remembered it back then. I remember, I think there was also some clone. Well, I can't remember if it was Bad Batch or it was Clone Wars. They also had some changes. I think it was Clone Wars. Remember where they changed the Amidala on the airplane? It was supposed to be like her.
That was when they showed the rough version of Bad Batch. It had her, and Anakin was like, "No."
Yep, he was not having it. Oh my god, that's funny. But Bad Batch was really good. I enjoyed the finale. I thought they did a good job with the finale. It was. I thought they were going to have to rush some things, but they didn't force the issue. They let it be its own show and end for itself, and not try to tie in anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a little bit of tie-in here and there, but they didn't force a tie-in and let it be its own conclusion. And had a little epilogue at the end of it, and hell, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised they shuttered Project Necromancer, especially since it got brought up in Mandalorian. So did Gideon go back and he's like, "Oh, we should resurrect this"? So is that not where the Emperor comes from?
See what you did there.
Resurrect.
We have to resurrect Project Necromancer. That Gideon, he's so funny. He's so punny.
He's so witty.
Honestly, I was more curious on how Tarkin had the power to divert those funds from Necromancer to Stardust. That didn't make any sense that he had the power to do that.
It was number 2 in the Empire, bro.
Yep.
Has been since day 1.
Yep.
Yeah, but
since episode
the Emperor,
4, you're like, yep.
But the Emperor would not have allowed that, though, right? There's no way the Emperor would have allowed that.
If it was all destroyed, I mean,
it's not. Obviously he brought it back at some point, right? So I'm guessing, like you said, everything was destroyed. They're back at square one. Well, let's push on with this other project. So that was my 2 cents. That was my interpretation of it, was that Tarkin, while the Emperor is the final say, like what Tarkin said, for the most part, the Emperor never argued with. I don't know. I feel like in a lot of this stuff, especially with the comics and the books and stuff, a lot of people do some kind of janky shit. And the people above them always are like, "Oh, this is okay because I'll still be able to manipulate this later," or whatever. There were multiple times in the comics, for example, where Vader will do some shit and the Emperor will be like, "Whoa, what's up, my boy?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." And then he's like, "Oh, it's fine." And then a thought bubble comes up that says, "It's cool because I have this other stuff that I'll be doing later, that'll manipulate things, So I think the Emperor was cool because he already had his pieces in place.
He has contingencies. Yeah, exactly. He has contingencies. Everything's redundant with that.
I read I saw one of the videos I was watching about. Go ahead, Lou.
Well, I was just thinking, just back to how they didn't necessarily tie too much. I was kind of hoping that they would have mentioned Exegol in that scene with Tarkin at the end. It's like, okay, where the Emperor comes in and says something where, okay, that's whatever we're doing, move everything, or we'll just pick this. It's just something to relate to Exegol. That's the only thing that I was kind of actually hoping for, but nothing more than that. Just a one-liner, and that's it.
But I saw
name drop.
One of the videos that I was watching. They had this wild theory that when the Emperor, after the second Death Star or after the first Death Star, that the Emperor started back up Project Necromancer on his own, but that he had been planting seeds for, he expected the rebellion to win. His contingency was that, in his head, while he always believed that the dark side was going to win and everything, this was a man with a ton of contingencies the whole time. And they were saying one of his contingencies is that he was already planting the seeds for the First Order at the end of the Empire. to distract people from his Exegol and the super cruiser ship fleet, whatever they were called, the
mobile Death Stars.
Yeah, the mobile Death Stars. So that way, the rebellion / first New Republic / resistance would be focused on the First Order instead of focusing on Exegol. So it was one of the things where they were kind of like tossing out ideas at the end, kind of what you were just saying, Lou, about like, well, why didn't they mention this and why didn't they mention that? Well, because Tarkin had no idea about any of that. Tarkin was given his little thing to work on, and then that was it. Like, his whole goal was Stardust. I mean, you saw that in Rogue One, and you saw that in the end of the Bad Batch. Was Stardust was going to be his play to become the ruler of the universe, right? Like, I almost feel like he was at a point where he would be like, his opinion would be that the Emperor would be more of a figurehead than he would be a real leader. Like, the stuff would actually go through, the buck would stop at Tarkin, you know?
Right.
And obviously him and Vader had their little tete-a-tete during A New Hope and stuff, where he never talked down to Vader, but it's obvious, to me at least, that he never really respected Vader. Like, he just... Right. You know, he was the Emperor's henchman, and he had to watch his P's and Q's when Vader was around. But whenever Vader was around, he's like, your boy's going to do what he's going to do. You know, I don't want to go interrogate. Oh, he's gone.
Womp womp.
And there's the text message.
Right.
And he's back. Hey.
Told you. We warned our viewers that my internet was a little choppy tonight, so they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
It was only a second. We're good.
So, I mean, again, this is all just conversation pieces, you know. But it all kind of, in my head, when I read all of it and kind of put the dots together, or listened to it and put all the dots together myself, it kind of made sense. Like, as far as my understanding of kind of the power structure, like, the reality is Vader never had any power, because the Emperor was never going to give him enough power to overthrow him, because he figured that out with Sifo Dyas. So, right? Sifo Dyas? That's the one who taught him everything, and then he was like, boom, Sifo Dyas, you're out.
Sifo Dyas was his BFF when they were Jedi.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Plagueis.
There we go. Yeah, Darth Plagueis. Yeah. Thank you.
We're taking this guy to
jail with this. Maul tried to overthrow him too.
Oh my god.
Clone Wars.
Lou, you should just fire up your cell phone hotspot, because it couldn't be any worse.
Oh shit! I forgot I have one of those.
Right?
You know what? Seriously. With my Darth Vader briefcase as well.
What the fuck is that? Jerome?
But yeah, I'm seriously.
That was Darth Vader briefcase.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do it. Right.
That's funny that you texted him that, and I said it. It didn't even read your text message.
Look at that hotspot from phone.
5G going, bruh.
Oh my goodness. Let's see if I remember how to do that. I haven't used this hotspot in forever.
So,
all right. So now is when now is when you need to bring up the technical difficulty screen. Please hang on.
Right.
For real. Editing will take care of this. I'm not worried about it.
So do we want to see an Omega show, or do we just want to see her pop up in other shows?
I want to see her pop up in other shows. I don't think she needs her own show. I mean, unless there's more to her story. I feel like we've heard the Omega story, right? The Omega story is that, like that. I mean, I don't need to see another one focused on her. I'm fine with her popping up elsewhere, you know, whether it's Andor or whatever. Like, maybe she's an older version of herself when Andor goes to the rebellion full on type of thing. Like, right. Especially since they're supposed to, season 2 Andor is every episode is a year, right? That leads up to, so we're going back 7 years. That would put her at.
No, it's not. That's not how Andor is.
Season 2. I thought season 2 was going
to. Season 2 is like every 4 episode arc is a year.
Okay, then they must have changed it from, because I think the last I read was because they were gonna compress a bunch of stuff, so maybe they changed it and I just missed it. So
yeah, when they knocked it down from 3 seasons to 2, I think that's what happened.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, I was gonna say that makes sense, because I never heard the one you just brought up. I never heard that. I've only heard like 16 episodes or something similar, or 12 episodes, whatever it is. But each arc is going to be a year.
Okay. But still, that would still put it in the same ballpark that Omega could still be a big part of the rebellion. So, I mean,
I don't think so.
Do you think she'd be too old?
Yeah, well, because if it ended with her joining the rebellion because they need pilots, then stuff already happened, and I don't know that. I mean, maybe the last arc, it's possible for her to show up in the last arc.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need to see her be around the whole time.
Well, if she hooked up with Hera again,
yeah,
like pre-Rebels,
yeah,
Hey-o.
yeah. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. That if she joins up with Hera and Ahsoka, done.
Yeah,
girl power. Girls can win, or whatever the.
I don't know. That'd be to me, that would be forcing the issue if she hooked up, with.
But she knows Hera.
Yeah, she met Hera before.
Yeah,
they have a relationship.
It wouldn't be random. She played with Hera when they were little kids.
Oh yeah, there wasn't. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because last season when
the Cam Syndulla arc.
Yeah,
exactly. So she knows Hera. It wouldn't be, forcing an issue. It's she actually knows them.
Well, I guess for me, the forcing the issue is she had never been around before. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, by the way, let's bring her in Ahsoka season 2.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't be okay with that.
No, not Ahsoka. No, I was saying like Ahsoka and her and Hera would all be hanging out together on the Ghost pre-Rebels.
Oh. Well, how they would need a whole new TV show to do that.
Oh, darn. More Star Wars animation, Lou? You complaining?
Oh, well, okay. See, I wasn't thinking it was animation because they would do a good job with that. I'm thinking because I'm still in the Hera live action is what's in my head right now because of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, this hot
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's what's in your head. Let's get it right, boy. It's not Hera.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to her. I don't care how big she is. Oh man! But I guess
like the hotspot worked.
Yeah, you're looking way better now.
He's not blurry no more.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, the timing is actually even better. There's not that big ass lag that I was getting before.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was like,
he's not
cool.
Japanese anymore.
Yeah. I blame the technical power that is Duke for not passing this information on earlier to do this. We depend on you, Duke. You know why? See, the whole time I'm watching this and doing this podcast, I had this green bar across in the bottom of my screen with this white walkie.
With a little white man running across.
A little white man running across, and you're like, man, I need to make that white man run faster.
What the hell? Your connection will be ready to let you in 20 minutes. My wait was over an hour, but we're better now.
And then all of a sudden it goes back to an hour. And then when it pops back up, it says 120 minutes. And you're like, wait a second.
Man, I tell you what's sad. I missed, because my computer was acting up, when you were talking about that. I still don't understand how you have a problem with that. It's a fluid thing. You can never know how fast or slow somebody's going to go to the process. So it's taking the averages and it's doing real time to get you where your time frame is. I mean, that seems legit.
But the second time when it gave me a time, it only went backwards, which I'm fine with. I just don't want it to go forward. I don't want it to say, hey, you're going to spend 45 minutes here. And then it pulls me out of that queue back to saying it's just an hour, like I just logged in. Because my guy hadn't moved at all. It was just like, because originally it popped, it was more of the false start that bothered me than anything else. Because then the second time it gave me a time frame, it stayed at that time, and then it started dropping as we got closer, which I'm like, cool. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, okay, you got 45 minutes. Oh, never mind. I would rather it just have said you have more than an hour to wait the whole time. That's all.
That's a different argument, because that you rather it doing that is fine, but the way it did it was correct.
I mean, I guess because we already went through it with the hotel thing, I was already like annoyed about it because I knew it was going to. And that system is just, I mean, again, we talked about it last week. The system itself is just broken as far as that stuff goes. Like, it's just not, it's not a good system. Like they definitely need to rethink it and architect it. But yeah, you're right. The way that it's set up right now, it worked as it is set up. So I will give you that. Yes.
I can't think of a better way to do it, though. I mean, you got like 100,000 people trying for 5 different things.
But you do it like the raffle. You do it like the parking raffle. I mean, what's the problem with doing that with the parking raffle? You know,
that's kind of what it is. It's just like a live one, though.
But if everything's,
you know what, I would argue the parking raffle is different because you don't have 500,000 people trying to get whatever you're trying to get. You know, it's not the same thing. The parking raffle, because people have their hotels, because people flying in, because not everybody has car rentals. I don't know what the numbers are, but the percentages had to be significantly lower attempts to get parking than it is to get hotels or even celebration tickets for that matter.
But then you know what? It's the locals trying to get the parking though. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, it's the people who don't have to worry about hotels. It's the people who aren't going to get the hotels. It's the people who are already there. But
somewhat. I mean, think about it. We're not there, and we're trying to get parking. There's got to be more people like us.
Right, but I'm just saying people that live there. So there aren't.
I think the people that live there are going to compensate for the people. Yeah, I think the people that live there are going to make up the difference from the people who got hotels who don't need parking. Period.
See, right. I would disagree only because those locals who know better, they're going to take the public transportation. They're gonna go to the mall and train in because they know better and they're not going to deal with that crap. They're like, I'm not paying $200 for parking for the week when I live here and I know the system. Like, if you know the system of your own town, you're going to use those. Like, if I want to do something in downtown Denver and I'm coming in from Boulder, I don't need to drive in. I know that I can walk the 10 minutes to the bus station and go right to the Union Station and then do whatever I need from there. Like, I know better than to do all that. Like, when I go for Denver Comic-Con, it depends on what I'm doing that day and what I plan on buying. I'm either going to drive in and know where to go to park and all that stuff because I know what I'm going to buy and I want to put everything in my car like we do in San Diego. Or if it's a chill day, I know I'm taking the bus down to Union Station and just going for that day. So as a local, we have it. We know better. The San Diego people, I would imagine, are the same.
They are Californian, though.
Yeah.
No.
They do love their cars.
Their electric cars.
That is true. If they ever had a convention in Boulder, everybody would be on bikes and walking. It's gross. All this exercise that happens. I can't.
But I guess to me, it's there has to be a better way than having like multiple browser windows open and hoping that one or multiple people all logging in with multiple browsers. Because all you're doing right there is you're exacerbating the problem, really, because now between like the three of us, let's say the example we gave before the podcast started. Okay, I have my laptop open with 5 different screens open, all trying to log in. And I have my phone, and I have my iPad, and I have my smart TV, right? Like, so now instead of just you being that one person, there's 12 of you. And if you multiply that over, 100,000 people, right? 80,000 people, 50,000 people, like, the system is going to get broken just based on doing that type of thing. So that's why I think that there's a better way to do it, because I think this way it's not, I don't want to use the word fair, but it's not equitable, right? Because again, it's one of those things, like if I would have had 15 tablets open, then maybe my chances of getting in earlier would be better. But that's not, I do
think that the hotel should be for pass holders only, though. Because both of these were just wide open. Just, hey, you want a Comic-Con hotel? Cool, come down. There was nothing keeping people from, like, non-attendees to not get a room.
And to flip it when it gets closer for more money, right? Like,
well, exactly. It'd be kind of hard to flip it.
No, you just got to transfer it to someone.
Yeah.
If they let you.
Jack just transferred it.
They do.
Jack transferred my room to me tonight. And there was no problem.
No. He booked your room for you. I wouldn't necessarily call that transferring.
No, all I had to do was change the email address, and then it resent it to him.
Seriously? Yeah. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I had to do.
That's sad. All I know is, because every time I think you brought it up last week too, a better way. The way Comic-Con tickets are done, I thought is fine. And even though you can still have multiple browsers open to increase your chances to get in faster or whatever, I like the fact that you're in the queue, they pull you in, and then you get what you need based off of that. Like we talked about last week, the hotel situation. You're in the queue, they pull you in, you get whatever you need to get and get out. But yes, the hotel thing does need to tie in to your Comic-Con ID and show that you have a badge. I think that has to be done.
Well, and again, just have one sale. To me, there was to me having the second sale was, But again, if we go back to the point of you have to have a Comic-Con badge, I feel like that process is improved by that fact, because now you're limiting it from the scalpers and the people who are buying rooms to just flip them down the road on Craigslist or whatever. It'll be I've never actually done that. It'll be interesting to see how many rooms on those types of sites pop up, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it happens with parking. People flip parking. That's for damn sure.
So, and I'm sure that those same people are flipping because, again, they know that they're getting. I mean, the rooms that we got were $250 a night, right, Jack? Mm-hmm. So,
all inclusive or plus taxes and fees?
I don't know. I think plus taxes and fees.
Because it's probably $250 plus your 14% plus your 3%.
Yeah, so it'll be $287 a night, almost. Let's just say $300, right? But that there's going to,
so the total for both of our rooms was only $2,500. Yeah, that's two rooms,
and that's one extra day for Duke as well.
Yeah,
yeah. Taxes and fees are only $281. That's
not bad. Yeah, because my 4 days taxes and fees was $1,281.
Oof!
God damn,
Jesus! Oh no, the total was $1,281.
Yeah, $1,281 was everything with taxes, with fees for 4 days, for 4 nights rather. For Wednesday check in to Sunday checkout was $1,281 everything.
Yeah, so I mean, we're all going out about. I mean,
ours is $1,282.50.
So there you
go. Let's get Lou at the same hotel. Well, we're only paying $1 more, but we're way farther out.
If mine wasn't non-refundable, I easily would have switched.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you mapped out we have to go past you to get to the convention center, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks like you guys are 3.4 miles from me, and I'm 3.4 miles from the convention center.
At least it'll be a nice drive every morning and every night.
Maybe traffic on Harbor is not pleasant.
But once we get out of the downtown area, I think it'll be fine. Like once we get past the.
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean, we get up early enough that whatever.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Yeah. I'm really not worried about it at all. I mean, hopefully we'd be lucky enough to get underground parking at the convention center almost every year for a decade. And if we don't, we get Indigo? Is that what that one is across the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not a horrible walk either.
Not as.
In fact, I like going up to the roof on a sweaty ass day.
Oh my God, that breeze.
Catching that breeze.
That breeze up on the roof.
My skirt up.
Hell yeah. Matter of fact.
Hang out with the police sniper up there.
I went up there last year just to go, even though I had parking with Jack downstairs. I went up there just to go. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was a nice breeze. It really was. It felt so good. But yeah, Comic-Con tickets like that. The hotel thing, again, I see your point of why those of us who are in the queue, why would we have to go back and do it again? But I understand why they have to do it a second time, because people cancel, obviously. There were rooms available that weren't available the first time. They opened back up, but they should have opened up to the people who were in the queue the first time.
Right. The email this morning should have been like, here's the second run that you have. And even maybe make it 2 hours. You have from 10 o'clock from 9 o'clock until 11 o'clock to go in and claim your room. After 11 o'clock, it's open for everybody. If you log in at 11:01, you are in the regular queue with everybody else. That's when the public sale starts. Then at least you get a window that if between the three of us, we've decided that we're not going to do an Airbnb after all, that we're just going to give it another shot. That would have made me happy. But when they said, oh, you had one shot, fuck you, you get to go in with everybody else now. I mean, even the screenshot of the hotels that Jack showed in the morning, and we got in, you got in 20 minutes? We got in 20 minutes later, and like that whole map had changed drastically in the 20 minutes that we were in there. Like it was kind of crazy to me.
It seemed like a Mission Valley Hotel Circle, whatever it's called. It seemed like that was readily available when all was said and done.
See, because when I went in, I was like, well, fuck it, I'll stay at Town and Country, because I didn't mind that when we stayed there that year, when it was you and me.
And that's in Mission, Mission Valley?
Yeah,
okay.
That's right across from Hotel Circle.
Oh, okay.
We had breakfast every morning. It was nice.
Yeah.
But no, it was gone. Otherwise, we would have been there, because I didn't mind that at all.
That's where I thought, yeah.
We even took the shuttle that year.
And they also haven't announced the shuttle routes, so it's entirely possible we'll have opportunities for a shuttle if we want it, right?
Oh, there'll be a shuttle.
Oh, we're on the shuttle. Sure. We're on the shuttle. I already checked. Yeah, we're on the shuttle route. There was some earlier info that went out that basically lets you know what the shuttle route in the sense of which hotels are on the shuttle route.
Yeah.
The timing, it's basically going to be the same as it's always been. It's just a matter of what the timing is going to be. Yeah. It used to be 24 hours. Exactly. Now it's not. Now it's like 1 to 5 a.m. is closed, but starting
like 3 or 4 hours that there's no shuttle or something.
Yeah, but that changed a couple of years ago, so that's not really news. But yeah, if we didn't want to take our cars or whatever, we could jump on the shuttle. Matter of fact, I think I saw something where it's like 20 minutes to the convention center and 22 minutes back. It's like whatever the timing was. I can't remember where I found it, but I looked it up a little while ago. Probably when I was probably right before the early bird stuff for the hotels. But I did look into that, and we are absolutely on the shuttle route.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%.
I tell you what would be cool, though. I wish they had like a ferry. We're on that back little. Yeah. Oh my god, it'd be so cool. We just get on that back and just take the boat across.
Because they do. I mean, they do have that dock right outside the convention center.
Yep. But
that'd be a nice. That'd be a nice way to go in every day. Be tough getting back with all the boxes of bullshit, but
yeah, there's that.
Let's see. I went and saw. Wow, what movie did I see? Was that
Abigail?
No, I've not seen Abigail yet. Now I'm at a point where I'm just going to wait for streaming, I think.
Oh, you saw that dumbass Skarsgård movie
with Bill? Oh yeah, this buddy Bill.
Yeah. Boy Kills World. It exceeded my expectations as far as the quality, but it's definitely it's a movie that's fun. And was it good? I mean, it was good in the action scene, but like I wouldn't say. I would give it probably like a 6.5 on out of 10.
That's a D.
Well, like I said, it was fun. There were parts that were fun. There was some action scenes that were a lot of fun, but it's not something that I would go and like advocate people to go see, right? Like, I'm glad I went and saw it, and I went and saw it on Tuesday, so it was Tightwad Tuesday, so I only paid $5. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like, I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to say, oh, you should rush out and see it. If you have an interest in seeing it, I think you'll be, but if you have no interest in seeing it, I'm not going to, there's nothing that I can say that would change your mind on that. Right. So
I'm just going to go ahead and accept your terms and not watch it since you're not advocating. So I will trust your judgment and not watch this movie.
Again, I'm being honest. I'm not saying it was great. It was fun. And that's about all I can say about it. Like,
Fun's right though. What's wrong with fun?
Yeah. The next movie probably won't be until I get back from EDC, so it's going to be a minute.
We're going to go see Star Wars Monday.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I should. Yeah, this week, maybe tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to
Thursday. Yeah, it's out.
Saturday, I'm going to a Kentucky Derby Cinco de Mayo Star Wars party. So
wow.
So I have
almost white people stuff.
Yeah, talk about white people shot.
Cultural appropriation is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
I may have a sombrero with a Grogu stocking hat that I have pulled over the top of. Come on, tell me that's not cash money. Like the only thing I'm missing is
people right now.
The only thing I'm missing is the Kentucky Derby piece. So I should have gotten one of the stick horses, so then I'd be covered. But
man, you had me thinking, like, did I even do any white people shit this weekend? But I guess Red Rocks amphitheater in Colorado, which is kind of world famous. But the bands, I don't know if I call that white people stuff. I went to see Cypress Hill and Sublime. However,
Sublime's white.
Yeah, Sublime's way white. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sublime with Rome. Let me get it right.
With Rome, yeah.
I will have to say I usually make a point to try to see how many other black people are there. My count got to 0 for this one.
Just the guys on the stage, just the one guy from Cypress Hill.
Yeah, the 2 from Cypress Hill. I think there's 1 from Sublime. I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't Cypress Hill bring a little bit, and Sublime with the weed smoking and all that? Nope, it was just me. Now, to be fair, it wasn't the best weather. It was snowy a little bit, sleet, rain. A little sprinkle. It wasn't crazy, but it was bad enough to be annoying that people didn't go. And black folk ain't trying to get their soul glow messed up. Come on, let's be real. They ain't trying to get their hair wet.
What you're saying is it wasn't Sublime with or without Rome.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. That's good. But yeah, it was weird to just, like I said, man. I'm looking around. I'm like, am I the only black person not on the stage? What the hell?
You should have just got up there.
Yeah.
Like, yes, sir.
Yeah, nobody would have stopped you.
Nope, not at all. He's like, well, if nobody else around, he must be part of the band. I will say this though, Cypress Hill rocked it, man. I was not expecting them. I'm thinking, okay, it'll be a good time, but it won't be a great time. No, Cypress Hill was on it. They were really good. Sublime,
they do a good
with
show.
Rome, not bad at all. I forgot how many songs that I knew from Sublime. I did not realize I remember that many. I was like, holy crap, okay. Even, I can't remember what the opening was, Mouse something or whatever. I can look it up eventually. But I actually liked them too, to the point
Modest
where...
Mouse?
What is it?
Modest Mouse?
No, it was Mouse something. It was
Mouse something.
Yeah. So if you do a Red Rock search under, for whatever date that was, April 27th or something, you would search for Red Rocks and who was playing the Cypress Hill Sublime and blah, blah, blah. Whoever was that blah, 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 Mouse, whatever, I liked him. Look, enough where I would go to the library, check out their CD and burn it. That's how good they were.
It's white and black people stuff, Lou. Until the library is white.
They did a good job. There was one dude that was playing a trumpet and a guitar and a keyboard, and he looked like he was just a band geek back in the day. And he said, "Screw it, I'm just have fun playing these instruments with this band." He was killing it. Like I'm telling you, the opening act, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know who you are, but I'm glad I got a chance to hear you." And if I saw you at a venue, or saw you were going to be at a venue around me, I'd go check you out. They were good enough for that.
That's cool.
I think
be a hipster of that band
or something, but whatever. So, what was that?
Now you can be a hipster of that band. I like them back when they were just opening.
I can't do them jeans, bro. I can't do those stupid ass jeans. I need loose
That's
fitting.
because we don't have those skinny ass legs like these kids do these days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Then I need a stupid mustache and that and looking
wax.
like
Lou.
What are the hell those punk steam? I look like a steampunk. No, I can't do it.
Lou has on his back pocket of his jeans, thick thighs, save fives.
They do.
Mine and yours.
I mean,
These watermelon crushers.
Yeah.
On a watermelon's right here.
You don't need to have a nutcracker in Lou's house.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Cool. That's about all I got for now. Besides, I gotta wind down just because I gotta get up in like 5 hours.
For real though.
Time to go. Disneyland. Let's go, boys. Yeah. I expect
hit the road 4 a.m. Get there when they open.
At rope drop.
Right.
You guys got to keep me in the loop. Send me some pictures. Let me know what you guys do.
Oh, we will. We will. All the pictures.
Yeah, especially tomorrow, like learning the plan and everything. We're just going to chill tomorrow for the most part. We'll get on a few rides here and there and chill, and the girls will show up later. So, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll make sure we toast you from Olga's.
Appreciate it. I'll have to live vicariously through you guys.
We have a reservation already for Saturday.
What's that?
We have a reservation on Saturday.
Oh, we'll do it Saturday.
Up it up to 6.
That works.
And make sure they give you a fucking booth if it's open, souls.
Right. The reservations get the boost usually.
They did have a booth. That was the annoying.
But when we went with Duke, they didn't.
Well, they did. They did.
We did a walk up.
Yeah, they just gave us a walk up, even though there was a booth with room in it.
Was it reserved?
Allegedly.
Oh, got it.
But I mean, we were there for our 45 minutes or whatever, and nobody ever sat there. I'm like, I didn't know you could make reservations for a booth at Olga's. Like, I thought you just made a reservation and they put you where they put you.
No, if you make a reservation, they generally put you in a booth.
Ah, okay.
That's fine.
But if you do a walk up, you usually get standing room.
Dude, I'm a black dude in California. I'll just tell them that I am trans and bi and lesbian and all that. We'll be fine. We'll get what we want. I'm gonna be a crippled trans, bi, lesbian, whatever alphabet letter you need, and we will be able to smooth right in there.
Whatever letter you need, just whatever letter you need, apply it to me.
Yep, I'm that thing. We're good. And make sure you get my pronouns right.
But they change every 3 minutes.
They do. They adjust. It's just like one of those like great movies where they change the password for the bombs to detonate and all that. Yeah, that's me. I just hold a little lever and the little thing spins around and it drops on a letter and that's what I am. That's me today. By today, I mean the next hour.
And that means autistic. Yay!
Well, not far from the truth, but okay.
Hey, there's a reason why Jack and I call you a beautiful mind behind your back. So. Oh wait, shit! Did I just say that out loud? Damn it!
I mean, yeah. Don't even turn around to behind my back.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Well, yeah. Well, so I guess the hardest part's over for our summer, so that's good. And for early next April,
next spring,
yeah.
Got to wait for the hotels for Tokyo, flights.
Yeah,
this is 6 to 8 months out, so we're getting there.
I'll probably look at hotels right after Comic-Con. Not hotels, flights right after Comic-Con.
Mm.
Just in me looking, just kind of like how the range was right now, like in the next, I looked out as far as I could for next year. Looks like flights are anywhere from like $800 to $1,200, just kind of depending on when you want to go. So
not expected, but we can have this conversation offline. We don't have to make people listen to our conversation.
Or we can have this conversation at the next podcast, one or the other.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit shorter tonight, but that's okay. We covered a lot of ground.
We were over an hour. What are we talking about?
I think usually we're like at 115, 120. So
the last two were for sure. We started off trying to keep it at about an hour, and they were like, people they want to see more of us. They want to hear more of us. So we gave them a third more of us.
Yeah.
You're welcome
for free.
We don't even charge.
Yeah, we don't even have an ad. We don't even have an ad read. So there you go. It's just raw us for an hour plus.
Yeah.
Luckily, probably be under an hour by the time I edit it and all that stuff where Lou gets cut out. It'll be like 35 minutes.
All the important stuff. 12. Jack's like, 12-minute podcast, guys. Good job. Shit.
You said you wanted shorts, Duke. Here you go.
And Lou, you didn't have any special guests. Where are your special guests? Get your mom up in here. Come on.
I think they went to bed, actually.
All right. Everyone's in bed.
My voice like a motherfucker. I'm surprised anybody's sleeping with me talking. Shit.
And us in the background.
Right? I'm going to open the door and people just be out there just pitchforks waiting like, we've been waiting for you ass to shut the fuck up for how long?
Go to sleep.
We thought you were loud, and then we heard that white guy. He just wouldn't shut the fuck up. He kept talking.
But yeah, so I think actually about 40 minutes ago or so, I think they went to bed.
Well, you'll have to give us your dad's feedback next week.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, okay, that'll work. I'll come back with that, no problem.
Other than that, though, have fun at Disneyland tomorrow, guys, and have fun watching Phantom Menace. Are you? Lou, you're going to go with them? Are you going to go?
No. I work Monday.
So you got to head back.
Yeah, so I'll be working from home, basically here remotely, and then 8:00 flight I'm out.
Nice, cool. Well, have a good rest of your trip there. Enjoy Disneyland tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Y'all.
He's
Take
out.
care. Bye.